Give no reaction, now I'm overreacting. Oh, and then that's it's gotta go platinum. I just listen to Closer to My Dreams. Wide-eyed and uneducated at 19. I can't rap like that, all young and naive.
What up? What up, guys? It's your boy Ray, aka Ray Ray, aka Real Ray, aka King Ultimate, and I'm here with another video. I'll be talking about my fitness journey so far. It is a long story, so I'm going to try my best to make this video not so long and drawn out. In another video coming up soon, I'm going to go ahead and explain where I got my nicknames from. So Ray Ray, obviously that's obvious. That's just a family household nickname that I've got. So that's obvious, but the other nicknames, Real Ray, King Ultimate, or Ultimate, I'll explain that in another video coming up soon. I'm just going to try to go ahead and dive right into it because it is a lot that I need to kind of go over to explain how I've gotten to the place where I'm at in my fitness journey and where I'm actually at right now. We're just going to start off from the very beginning, which is the beginning of my life. When I was born, I was a very big baby. So my mom had to have a C-section with me, my brother, and I believe my sister as well. So I do have two other siblings. I'm the oldest. My brother is 5 years younger than me, and my sister is 14 years younger than me. Out of the three siblings, the middle child, which is my brother, he's the only one who's never been overweight. Like throughout all his life, he's just been skinny. The funny thing about that is he weighed the most when he was born. So for me, when I was born, I weighed about 10 pounds, 3 ounces. And even though it's not much more, my brother was 10 pounds, 8 ounces, I believe. And then my sister, I can't quite remember exactly what she was, but me and her, we kind of have this similar body type and as far as our metabolism and gaining weight and whatnot. As I grew up to about 5 years old, I did not look obese or overweight at all. And then from there, that's when the weight gain started. I don't know exactly what it was, but around that age is when the weight gain started. From that point on, 5 years old, 5 or 6 years old, up to 24, 25 years old, I was overweight. I guess you could consider me obese by the, doctor standards or whatnot. I wasn't necessarily really big. I was just what the average person back then would have considered husky. I don't know if people still use that term, husky, but so I wasn't necessarily super huge, but at the same time, I was a big guy, you know what I'm saying, all through my life. As growing up, I was teased about my weight, so I did develop, there goes the alarm, I did develop insecurities about my weight or whatnot. It definitely did not help my insecurity, like I spoke about in a previous video, that I do have anxiety. So I meant to say anxiety. Me being overweight was definitely an insecurity of all of my life, you know what I'm saying? Even to today, it's still kind of there. I've gotten over it a lot, but at the same time, it's still there to a certain extent. Hence part of the reason why I'm trying to make sure that I'll go ahead and continue to lose the weight and keep the weight off. At around 24 years old is when I decided, okay, it's time to go ahead and lose this weight. I just wasn't happy with where I was at. I was still feeling very insecure about my weight or whatnot. At that point in time, I was around 321 pounds. I think coming out of high school, I was about 6'3", 250 pounds, which I'm right now. I'm about 250, 260. I'm fluctuating between there. After high school, I went to college and they talk about the freshman 15. Well, the freshman 15 turned into the freshman, 70 or 80 pounds or something like that. By the time I was 24, I got up to about 321 pounds. And I think what kind of made me decide that I was gonna lose this weight was my younger sister. I don't know, I think I had a camera, or she might have just got a camera, or I just got a camera or something like that. But she decided that she was gonna take a picture of me, just a random candid photo of me. When I was walking into the living room, she showed me the picture right after she took it. And I looked at the picture and I was just like, what the heck? Is that what I really look like? It was really a shocker for me to see myself. I don't know if I just hadn't taken a picture in a long time or what, but it was just really a shocker to see that, man, this is the truth. This is what I really look like right now, So me seeing that, and then some other things that was going on in my life at that time, made me make the decision that I got to lose this weight, man. I didn't do it the correct way. I didn't do it the proper way as far as making sure that I ate correctly and had a proper diet. I tried to do it as fast as I could possibly do it, and had no understanding of nutrition, had no understanding of how the body works, sugar, fat storages, the ratio of fat to muscle, how having muscle is more beneficial than just trying to lose the weight, period. I just had no clue or no understanding of how my body really works, or how the human body pretty much works when it comes to nutrition and the things that you're putting into your body that's causing a person to become overweight, and how to rid yourself of those things and have a balanced diet to make sure that you eliminate the fat but maintain the muscle. I had no idea of those things, so I just did whatever I wanted to do, and I called it Ultimate's workout plan. Most of what I did was just cardio, jumping rope, running, jogging. So it took me about a year. It took me about a year to lose the weight, and I lost about 115 pounds. So I got down to about 210 pounds, 211 pounds. So I was doing intermittent fasting, and even though I didn't know what it was at the time, I was doing that. For me, right now, I'm about 260 pounds. My calorie intake should be about maybe 3,500 calories to maintain my weight and be healthy. But of course, if you're losing weight, you want to bring those calories down, right? No more than 200 to 500 calories, somewhere around there, and then maintain that for the extended period of time that you're trying to lose the weight. And of course, as you lose weight, your calorie intake should go down along with how much you weigh. I had lost 115 pounds. I wasn't doing it healthy. I did a lot of intermittent fasting, like I said, didn't know what it was at the time. I also did just flat out water fasting. So I would be doing water fasting for at least a week at a time, no more than a week. Of course, I was just destroying my metabolism at that time and also starving myself. I didn't realize it, but that's what I was doing. And for me doing those things that I explained for over a year, of course, on and off, of course, it was very unhealthy for me. And I did that for about a year. And I got down to about, just like I said, 210 pounds. I felt comfortable. I felt amazing. You know what I'm saying? I felt that I looked amazing. I didn't really look amazing. I just looked skinny. I looked really skinny, and then I even looked, my girlfriend at the time said that I looked like I was sick. You know what I'm saying? I looked sickly in my face or whatnot. It was unhealthy for me. But I did it, man. I was, just like I said, I never give up. It's very hard for me to take no for an answer. And so at that time, I lost the weight, and then once I started eating normally, even just eating a lot, or eating the same amount that I was eating when I was obese, I still was keeping the weight off. I only gained up to, let's say, 220 to 225. So I maintained my weight around 220, 225. Of course, my stomach was smaller. It had shrank from all the fasting that I did. So I wouldn't eat as much. I would get full faster. And then over time, of course, as you eat more and more and more and more, and you start to stretch out your stomach, you can eat more. Of course, that's where weight gain comes in, or fat gain or whatnot. I wasn't doing any type of muscle building or anything like that. Just cardio every so often. I didn't really have a strict regimen or whatnot, but every so often I would do cardio to try to help to maintain. Once I felt like, okay, I'm gaining a little bit too much weight. So I maintained my weight for about 2.5 to 3 years at 225. Once I got closer to the end of being able to maintain it at 225, I got really, really depressed because of things that were going on in my life at the time. And it was more than just one thing, it was multiple. It was like 3 or 4 things that I felt that were detrimental that were happening to me in my life at that time. And I got very, very depressed. And then I started eating more, and I gained about maybe 30, 40 pounds somewhere. So I got to around 250, 260, somewhere around there. 270. And then I got my own studio. I am a musician and also a music producer. So I'm into music, and I was trying to get into the music industry. Things didn't quite work out the way I wanted it to. And at that time, I had a lot more freedom to do anything that I wanted to. At the time I was living with my parents, but I decided that I was gonna start a new business venture. I got that studio space. Things didn't work out with the studio space, but that's another story. So with me being in that studio space, I had a whole bunch more freedom than just living at my parents' house and having to abide by their rules. And I never really went home. I was either at work, and if I didn't go to work, I would go straight to the studio. And so from work to the studio, work to the studio, work to the studio for weeks at a time. And then every now and then, you know, the only time I would go home was to shower or whatnot. They had showers at my job, so I could shower at the job or whatnot, or at the gym. And during that time, I never had the time necessarily to eat properly. I was still in that depressed state at that point in time as well. So what I did eat was McDonald's, Wendy's, In-N-Out. That's why at the end of all my videos I say stop eating all them hamburgers. Or that's a part of the reason why. I'll tell you where I got that from as well. That's a whole nother story as well. I was just eating nothing but junk food, you know, candy, Snickers bars, and, you know, chocolate bars and everything like that, ice cream. Also, I'll save that for another video. I was doing something else that was horrible for my diet. Mainly, I was just eating ridiculous amount of food at all points in time when I lived. I basically lived at that studio, and I didn't care about maintaining my diet, just like I said, because I was depressed about the things that I was going through in my life at that time. Within a year's time, not only did I get to 321, but I got way past it. I got all the way up to 350 plus pounds. So I was like 350, 354, somewhere in between there. I might have even hit 360 at one point, but so I got all the way up there, man. And you know, I'm pretty tall. I'm taller than the average person. I believe the average person is 6 foot, somewhere around there. So I'm actually 6'4". It doesn't look as bad for a 6'4" person to be 350 pounds versus somebody who's under 6 feet. But at the same time, it's obvious that this person is obese. So I was very obese at that time. I looked horrible, and I felt horrible because of the things that I was eating. Felt ridiculously horrible. And I was starting to get up in age at that point in time. So, or this is getting closer to the point where I'm at right now in my age. After the studio, some things happened for me to realize that, hey, I'm not feeling good physically, mentally, emotionally. I'm just not feeling good. So I decided that I was going to go ahead and start losing this weight again. We're getting closer to the point to where I'm at right now. With that being said, I didn't really do anything too much about it. I didn't do too much about it until, so I had the studio from the beginning of 2011 to the end of 2011. So it was a year lease. So 2014 is the beginning of the fitness journey that I'm on right now. I was hanging out with one of my best friends and his family. They decided to watch this documentary, or I think they had already watched the documentary, but they wanted to show it to me. And so I decided, okay, yeah, let me watch this documentary, because I had been telling them that I wanted to lose weight and everything like that. So I watched the documentary. It was about this guy. He became very sick. I can't remember exactly what the ailment was, but what he did to fix himself. It's a guy from Australia, and he came to America to film this documentary. So this guy, he's a business guy. He's a business guy, and he's decided to film his journey, his weight loss journey, and the things that he learned as he was doing this, and it basically turned it into a business or whatnot. The name of the documentary is Fat, Sick, and Nearly Dead. It was by this guy named Joe Cross. There you go. Guy from Australia, Joe Cross, a businessman, decided to document himself traveling across America, juicing, basically. So that's what he did. He did juicing in order to lose the weight. And then once he lost the weight, then he decided to use exercise and also a proper diet to help him maintain keeping the weight off or whatnot. That documentary was very inspirational to me. Not in the sense that juicing is the way to go, but it had a lot of valuable information about what we put into our body, the food that we put into our body, and how unhealthy it is. Human beings are actually not supposed to be eating meat, period. And I don't want to necessarily get into a discussion about that, not in this particular video, but just the proper things that a human being is supposed to be putting inside of their body. I got a lot of that information out of that documentary, and I did my own research and found out that what this guy is saying, it all makes sense and it is true. That was inspiring. And then not only that, I think maybe a couple of days later or a week or two later, my family, or my friends, my best friends, which I do consider them my family, they told me about this other documentary called Forks Over Knives. And this, basically the documentary is talking about kind of the same thing, that our bodies are supposed to be intake fruits and vegetables. Part of their proof was that our body composition is more compatible with fruits and vegetables than they are with animal products that we eat. You know what I'm saying? Once I learned that, and once I watched both of those documentaries and I learned those things, I began doing my own research. And from doing my own research and finding out that what these people are saying is true, not only is it true, but it all just kind of comes together and makes sense when you think about it. Once I found that out, then it was kind of like, that was very inspiring for me. It made me want to, okay, let me find out what I need to do to go ahead and lose this weight. So I did a lot more research on the fact that we should be basically vegans. Every person on earth should be vegans. I did a lot of research on vegans at that point too. And it was kind of scary because they said that once you become a vegan, if you're a vegan for 3 or 4 years, and some people have been vegans for decades, if you decide that, hey, one day I just want to eat a hamburger one day, stop eating all them hamburgers. One day I want to eat one of these hamburgers one day, all of a sudden, you just forget that you're a vegan and everybody else is eating hamburgers and you decide, okay, let me go ahead and eat this hamburger. You would actually get sick, like really sick, even to the point to where you could die from being sick from eating that particular animal product or whatnot. So that's the scary thing about deciding to become a vegan or whatnot. And so I haven't necessarily gotten to that place. And I'm still kind of wavering on that decision. With me wavering, it's kind of got me to the point to where I'm at right now, to a certain extent, and I'll explain later. With the knowledge that I began developing, all the research that I gained, I devised a plan to meet my goal of weight loss. For the past 2 months, my diet has been crap, and not only my diet has been crap, but I've only been going to the gym maybe once a week for the past 2 months. And that's just because I'm trying to flip my schedule, and it's very hard for me to, I don't know why it's so hard, but it's very hard for me to flip my schedule and to make sure that I'm getting to the gym before I go to work. That's been difficult. I mean, of course, you know, as you live life, you day in and day out, week in and week out, month in, month out, year in, year out, you're gonna run into random problems and situations that you have to take account for. Those type of things have been happening as well in conjunction with me flipping my schedule around. But with me making this video, this is the start of my week, and I'm realizing that this particular week, I can make sure that no matter what, I go ahead and start to stick to the schedule. So I've had enough time to build up the right mindset to, hey, okay, no matter what, I'm getting up at this time, I'm eating something, going straight to the gym. After I get to the gym and do what I gotta do, I'm taking care of my other business, going to work, and then as soon as I'm done with work, I'm coming straight home, getting straight into bed. And that's been a tough thing too, very tough for me. So it's hard for me to just go straight to sleep when I get home. When I am asleep, I am a heavy sleeper when I am actually asleep, but it's very hard for me to actually get to sleep. So with that being said, that's the place where I'm at in my fitness journey. I've gained probably a lot of fat, some muscle as well, but I'm gotten to the point to where I'm 260, maybe a little bit more, maybe 265 pounds right now. I know if I dive right into it, I have a lot of muscle with my body, so I know if I dive right back into my schedule, the weight will start to just drop right off. And so that's what I'm planning on doing. Right now I'm about 6'4", 265 pounds, maxing out at 290. The average bench, or my working weight for benching, is 225, which I'm very happy about that, because it wasn't there. You know, I'm not a fitness. I didn't go to school for fitness or nutrition or health or anything like that. But I think that I'm not doing too bad. I've definitely developed a lot of strength, especially in the what's it called there. So I'm doing dips like crazy. It's easy for me to do dips, you know, with me having the amount of fat that I have on my body. I think that it's pretty good definition. You know what I'm saying? Man, thanks for watching, you guys. Like and share the video and subscribe to this channel. And I can't wait to see you guys on the next video. And until then, remember, more than any other video, remember.